Hey there, greetings everyone. Daniel Lowry back in the hot seat with another video for you. Today we're actually going to be re-looking at the Adaptix C2 server. I have a video for that I made not too long ago. A lot of you really enjoyed that because it's a super cool C2 framework, open source, costs you no money, lots of capabilities. It's really nice. But there's always a but, right? There's a big old but coming in here. And that but is a couple of you reached out and said, hey, I tried to install this on Windows and it did not go well. I was unable to get it to work. I couldn't even get it installed, so on and so forth. Could you please do a video on that, making it happen? Well, guess what? We're just going to try to do this today. I have no idea whether I'm going to be able to make this work or not, but we're going to struggle our way through and see if we can't actually get this installed in a Windows environment. So I have a very vanilla Windows installation going, Windows 11. I think I've got that. Oh yeah, this is it right here. So here you go. I'm on the GitHub page for Adaptix C2. So we're going to start here, and then we're going to work our way through the installation and see where we find a little hitch in our giddy up. Again, this is a vanilla Windows 11 Pro installation. I haven't done anything other than update it. So yeah, there you go. I did one thing. Which is I pre-downloaded something so that you didn't have to see me kind of fumble my way through that, kind of speed this up a little bit. All right, so let's get at it. Here we go. All right, so if you're on the Adaptix-framework/Adaptix C2 GitHub repo, then you'll find a link right around here. Please check out the wiki to get started. That will take you to this page right here. Installation. We like installation because that's what we're trying to do. In my previous episode, my previous video that I made on this, I followed these instructions because I was working in a Linux system. But that's not where we are today. Today we are under Windows. There's Windows. So the first thing we need to do is download Qt Online Installer from official website. I clicked this lovely link here, and it took me here. Get and install Qt, blah, blah, blah. And I hit that link in the top right-hand corner, which says download Qt. I used to. I love when they go into that mode where it like makes it stupid. But there you go. It says download Qt right there. I clicked that button, and that took me to not this page. So I need to actually like log out because I had to create a login. Oh, I am logged out. Excellent. So I was here. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the right page. Aha. So it says Qt software free trials. Guy, get to try Qt software free for 10 days, including all our commercial packages. I wonder, it says use Qt under this. Explore Qt Community Edition. Does it say that that's what we're looking for? It does not. But maybe, because I didn't install that one. I downloaded this one, the Qt framework and tools, which I get to try for a short time. But maybe this is what I need. Okay, well, let's go get that too. Qt for open source development. Before proceeding to download Qt development, make sure you are choosing the right license for your product. What to consider: contributions via open source usage obligations. This is all fascinating. Download, please. Looking for the Qt binary. There we go. The Qt online installer. Okay, I will. No. It says looking for Qt binaries. Find them in the Qt online installer. This will steer you to the right download version and your tools add-on, blah, blah, blah. I think this is it. All right, let's click on that. Looking good so far. So maybe this is exactly, maybe I did the wrong thing before. So I'll click Windows because that's what I'm running. And then you get another. All right. And then you get this offline packages. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with the offline packages. Booyah. So you got source packages, creator, other downloads. Let's go back and see in this installation, the online installer. It does say it wants the online installer. So that was here. Yeah, we're going to back this up. We are going to grab that online installer. So click Windows. which is now being a pain. Oh, there we go. No, it's fine, I think. Boy, what a sight. There we go. This is a fun, yeah, weird. Refresh that page, please, if you would. Clicking Windows. There it is. Online installer for Windows. Got to follow the bouncing ball. Now you can see I grabbed this online installer. It looks the same though. Interesting. Because it gave it a one file name right there. And you can see that. So this is the first one that I downloaded because I didn't want you guys to have to wait to go through all that. But it looks the same. Interesting. Okay. Well, there you go. We're learning stuff as we go. Like I said, I've never done this before. And honestly, you would think that Linux installations would be a whole lot more difficult, but this seems to already be being weird with this Qt installer. Okay, we've got that. I will run with this one just to be safe because that's what you guys have seen me do. So, okay. All right, then. So we've got that. That was step one. Step one was to get that online installer, which we do. It says, after launching the installer on the package download page, please check the boxes as shown in the screenshot below. So we'll need to mimic what we see here in the screenshot. Let's see how that goes. So I think this is probably just going to be in downloads. Yep, there it is right there. I'm going to double click. And here we go. Welcome to the Qt Online Installer. This setup guide this setup will guide you through the installation of Qt software. Refer to the documentation of Qt installation if necessary. A typical installation size on your hard drive is 7 gigs. All right, good to know. And it takes 5 minutes depending on your internet connection. Click next to continue. Booyah. Next. I'll make sure you guys can see everything. I don't want to miss a thing. All right, so log into your Qt account. Interesting. Do I need a Qt account for this? Because I do have a Qt account. Help us improve Qt by allowing tracking of pseudonyms. Read the Qt privacy policy. Looks like you don't have much of a choice. So you will need a Qt account to be able to use this. At least that's what it seems like. I created a mail fence account because I'm a big Van Halen fan. I went with EVH5150. So when it asks you for a business account, that's what I went with. Was a mail fence account, and that seemed to work just fine. So mailfence.com, put in my password. And bam, I think that's right. It's not giving me a next. Oh, disable sending, sure. Okay. There we go. So I also had to click click that disable sending usage statistics, and then next finally lit up. Okay. Do I want to do that? Can I take out that? Do I have to log into my Qt account? It sure seems like it. Help us improve. Okay. I'm going to go with it because I did make an account. What are you going to do? We're going to give it a shot. Next. Validating repositories. Retrieving information from remote repositories. I mean, a 5-minute install is not bad. This should be, well, at least for Qt. I mean, if it gets too long in the tooth on waiting for a progress bar to go, I'll pause the video and then I won't make you suffer through that. But we're almost through this whole retrieving information from remote repositories part. Okay. Almost at the station. And do y'all hate it as much as I do when it gets to 99% and sits there like an idiot? It's like, hello, you said we were done. Why is that one last percent? I feel like progress bars are just a big fat lie. You tell me. I don't know. Yeah, it's whatever. See, 99%. And we just kind of sit there. If it's like, why do we get to 99% and then we hang for 5 minutes? Flippin' hate that. All right, finally. Okay, please specify the directory where Qt will be installed. It's by default going to be in C/Qt. So, okay. If you want to change that, you can hit browse, I guess. Let's see what we got here. We've got Qt69 for desktop environments. We've got Qt69 for embedded, Qt for MCU developments, Qt Design Studio, developer tools for mobile, Android. I'm guessing, or maybe we need this user selectable packages, host platform, and developer license restrictions apply. I don't know if that's going to be a problem. Let's jump back into the instructions here. So the screenshot below, Design Studio extensions. After launching the installer, so this is where it could be a little more descriptive on the installation in this walkthrough of getting it installed. That could be nice because there seemed to be a bit of assumed knowledge going on here. And that's never what you want, right? You never assume that your end user, I don't care what level of experience they are at, you should never assume, Adaptix C2, that your end users know something. Okay? Just that's a bad practice. You should fix that. Okay. Let's scroll down a little bit. Maybe there's more information here. In the Qt Creator, okay, that's when the Qt Creator starts. Open projects, CMake list. Okay. So that's after we get past this. So we definitely need the Qt Creator installed. And this is and then there's Qt and extensions and Design Studio. Let's go back to Qt here. Embedded development. I think this is what we want. Oh, look, there's the Qt Design Studio. Probably going to want to check that then because I saw that's here, right? Qt Design Studio. Good to know. See, it's the little details like that. I shouldn't have to guess on that. It should just tell me. All right, so I'm going to check Qt Design Studio as well. I think this should be good. So we've got Qt69 for desktop environment and Qt Design Studio. Let's click Next. Go. Okay. We got ourselves an agreement. And I guess we're going to acknowledge and accept. I confirm that I am a designated user of a customer. I guess, sure. I'm just going to check both those boxes and hit Next. Select the Start menu folder. I'm going with the defaults. Click Next. And then in here, associate common file types with Qt Creator. Sure, why not? We have these build tools. So what's interesting is I did not see this here. Check the boxes as shown in the screenshot below. And maybe when they made these instructions, this was the standard workflow for installing Qt Studio or whatever. Design Studio and then the Qt system itself. Qt682. We need Ming MingW 13.1.064-bit. 673. Okay, that's nothing there. We need these build tools. Right? Did we get build tools when we did that? I didn't see that. Build tools. So this one says Ming 13.10 64-bit CMake Ninja. So these are the build tools. All right, let's go back to these instructions. 13.10. 13.10. Okay, that's good. Let's just check and see what we got going on here. Qt682, 13.10, blah, blah, blah. That's under Qt. Under Qt, make that a 691. I don't know if that's going to cause us too much of a problem, even though the instructions do show that this is 682. So this just goes to show you that we're kind of a couple of steps ahead of when these instructions were built. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We will continue on. Qt Creator. Are we getting Qt Creator? Yeah, but we're on 17 where that was on 1501. The CDB debugger support, I didn't see any of that stuff, but I think that's a default install. All right, you know what? If it fails, it fails. It looks like we're pretty squared away. Just gonna give it one more little once over. CMake, Ninja, OpenSSL. Let's see here. Do we see a CMake? Yeah. Ninja. I don't see OpenSSL. Ooh, that could be a problem. All right, let's go back because I think we should go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. What if I do a custom installation here? That might be microcontrollers embedded. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go here. Design Studio. Okay, so this is where we're getting the checkboxes. So this looks like they maybe have done a custom install before. Let's go back here, start at the top. So Design Studio, make sure that's checked. Design Studio, bang, we're good to go. All right, Qt for Android Automotive, we don't need that. How about extensions? Let's go look at that. Extensions should be good. The next thing we need is under Qt. So we don't need extensions. We're under Qt. And that looks right. And let's see here. So we've got that. Probably want to drop that box down and see if Ming GW or Min GW, however, I always say Ming W or whatever. Let's go in there. So under Qt, under build tools, booyah. There it is right there. We're going to need to check that off. Okay. So under build tools, it did have MingW 13.1.0 64-bit, which is what we see in this instruction. We also need sources and additional libraries. So let's go get those. We need, oh, there's the OpenSSL. We'll need that. I didn't see sources though. Let's go check that. Yeah, that was not there because that's under build tools. Yeah, okay, that's a different thing. All right, so this is under Qt. Man, they got things all over the place. So Ming 13.1.6, this is straight under the Qt. So under the Qt, is that here? Yes. Additional libraries also need sources. So under Qt, find Qt 691 if you're following me along. Then there you'll have MingW 13.1.0 64-bit. You'll also have sources. You'll need to check that. Additional libraries is already checked. Then drop down to under build tools. Or do we want 683? Hold up, swolled up. They got 682. Let's go back and look at that. Do they have 682? They don't. We're just on 691. I don't know if that's going to cause a problem, but you know what we can do? I don't know if that, see, this is fun. This is some of the fun stuff about getting things working. I honestly don't know what Qt is. I've never worked with this whole environment. I don't know anything about it. But I think at the time of the creation of this, they just went with the most current version. So that's what we're going to do as well. If that doesn't work, we might have to go back and uninstall and then reinstall using like 6.8.3. That might be closer to the version that they're using. I don't know if it's going to cause any dependency hell, but what are you going to do? We got to try something. I'm going to go with that. Okay, so then it takes us to build tools. Okay, under build tools, we've got MingW. We need CMake, Ninja, and OpenSSL, which I believe we've gotten. MingW, CMake, Ninja, SSL. Beautiful. Anything else? Qt Creator, all three things done. All right, let's go get Qt Creator. There it is. There's more than three things here now. What was it that they had? Debugger support, debugging tools, and creator. So creator, debugging support, and debugging tools. That's right there. I don't know what these debug symbols are, but we're going to add all this. Why not? Plugin development. I'm going to go with all of it because I like doing that kind of stuff. Okay, now we'll click next. We got our agreements. We got that. The right directory. Click next and install. All right, click yes when you get the UAC and off we go. All right, I feel like this is probably going to take a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and just pause the episode real quick, let this thing cook. If anything weird pops up, I'll make sure to jump back in. So give me just a second and we'll be right back. And we're back. It's finally done. It did actually take a few minutes, so I'm glad I didn't make you wait through that. Let's get back to it. Here it is. It is done. It says Qt has now been installed on your system. We can launch Qt. We can open Qt. We can launch Qt. I don't think we need to do any of this stuff yet, so I'm just going to click Finish. Fini. And now we're back here at our installation. It says in Qt Creator, select Open a Project, and then CMake lists.txt file. Select the CMake lists.txt file. After downloading the project, change the build type to release and build the project. Okay. After downloading the project, is that what we need to do here? Do we download this as a project? This is interesting. What does that mean? Okay, let's see here. Project, Adaptix client. Is this just the client? Okay. It doesn't really say. Okay, this is the client will be created here. Where's the... Is that the only thing that gets built? I bet that's what this is. Gotcha. That is a little confusing. So it looks like what's going on here is that the server runs in Linux, and that's what's up. Your client, on the other hand, can run in Windows or Linux. And we're building the client to connect to the server. We should still be able to build the client and then run it. I don't know if that means it will connect. You would have to build a server for it to be able to connect to the server. I don't have the server built right now. I don't know if that's just, we're going to go down that road because that was a whole video in and of itself, right? So, I don't know. I don't think it was too bad, but it did take some time. Yeah, there was a little bit to it. Do all that stuff. Okay. Oh, man. Let's see here. Okay. After downloading the project, change the build type to release. Change the directories. This is a little confusing. I'm not going to lie. Have they bested me? Where do you download this project from? Move the Adaptix C2 to the directory, OpenCMD. Okay. What the heck? This is very confusing. But that should be, we're almost at the end here. We just need to get this done. Select, in Qt Creator, select Open Project and select the CMake list.txt file. Is that in here? CMake list.txt? Huh. Adaptix clients, is that in there? This is getting interesting. Oh, there it is right there. So we do need to download this. Okay. All right, good to know. Okay, let's grab the code here. Give me a little zip download. Getting Adaptix C2. Looks like we got that. Excellent. Go back to here. Let's go ahead and extract all. And we'll go into download C2. Man, that looks good. Extract. I don't mind leaving it there in its own little lovely world. Okay. So, man, that took a little weird turn on me there. I wasn't expecting. I mean, I would have expected that the server and the client were both installable on Windows, but it does not look like that is the case. So if you want this to actually be like a working something or other, you will have to install the server in a Linux system. Just how that goes. Then you'll need to do this whole Qt install thing and download the GitHub repo for Adaptix C2 onto your Windows device so that you can build the client. That's what we're doing. Okay. All right, then. Let's move on. So we've got that. Let's go back to this whole thing here. So we need to run the Qt creator. Okay, Qt creator. There it is. Click on that. And wait just a moment, I guess. Are you running Qt creator? Are you doing something? Are you just sitting there making us look foolish? Going ha 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 ha. I don't see it running. That was weird. Okay. Qt creator. That is the app. What is the problem? Where's the Qt creator? I clicked the thing. You all saw me do it. Let's go to the task manager and see if it's running. I don't see it. Qt anywhere? Anyone? Anybody? Not seeing it. So maybe it's not running. Okay, we'll try again. You know how these things go. Did you really want me to run? I mean, it seems stupid, but there we go. Qt creator. Sweet. Ran like a charm. It's not over here. It's not over there. It's not anywhere. Why you no run? Okay. Well, that sucked. Well, there you go. So, looks like there's some issues when it comes to installing it on Windows. I think I had one person tell me they were able to get it actually installed. Like, I would probably want to go back and try to install the older version of Qt. But I mean, nothing is running. Let's just kick around a little bit. Let's go back here. Or where's the, yeah, there we go. All Qt. I don't want to quite give up yet. Oh, Windows, I don't see. There it is, Qt. We've got the assistant, the designer, the linguist. Why is this not running? Qt Design Studio. I mean, what's the problem? Everything seemed to have ran just fine. You know what I want to do? Where is this folder? Show me this folder. Oh, it's just CQT. That's right. Let's open a terminal. And prompt, whatever. Don't care. Let's see here. Oh, I really don't like you. That's Windows PowerShell. Listen, what I want is the terminal. There you go. Thank you. Because this does, well, I think it does this. Yay. All right, CD backpack. Not dir. There we are. CD dir. CDQT dir. And 691, probably 691. CD into 691. And then we're going to get, I guess that's not it. We've got installer example, doc, dists, tools. Let's go into tools. CMake 64, Ninja OpenSSL, Qt Creator, right? That's what we wanted. CD Qt Creator. CD bin. Oh, that's fun. Where are the... There it is right there. qtcreator.exe. All right, /qtcreator.exe. It no running. Okay, Okay, we're not dead yet. One more chance for vindication. Terminal. We're going to run as administrator. Maybe that is the problem. Let's try that. And that's going to go into Qt. And then we go into tools, then into Qt creator, then into bin, and then /Qt creator.exe. Okay, it just doesn't run anything. I don't know if it didn't give me any errors when I was installing this Qt creator. This seems to be the linchpin around this. I just want to check the task manager again to see is it running? It doesn't look like it is at all. I don't know if that's because this is in a virtual machine. I don't see why that would be the case. Like, what does it matter whether or not it's in a virtual machine? There was no problems when it came to the installation. There was no errors generated. There was nothing. I'm just not seeing it, kids. I'm just not seeing it work. All right, Qt creator, you really suck. That's all there is to that. Shell host, yeah, I'm not seeing it. User mode, Microsoft Store, host, CTF loader, com surrogate, anti-malware, so on and so forth. Yeah, looks like it kicked our butt today. So my suggestion is, don't use Windows. It worked just fine using Kali Linux. So do that. It's going to be good hands-on practice for you. Obviously, there was a lot of hand waving going on when it came to the installation instructions that they gave us for even doing the Qt creator stuff. So maybe they're just like, yeah, if you're handy with that kind of stuff, maybe it doesn't like Windows 11. Maybe on a Windows server, this would have worked a whole lot better. I don't know. Again, I've never worked with Qt creator or anything Qt product, Qt, whatever it is. And it's really turned me off to that whole experience. I'm going to be honest with you right there. That's a lot of fun. So yeah, use Kali Linux. It worked. Everything worked. You can go watch that video and show you exactly how to get that installed. On Windows, it looks like it hates Windows, right? Or Qt creator. Maybe if you get that piece of the puzzle running, and again, try a few things, maybe go back, install previous versions of stuff. That could be the issue. Maybe we're working with too new of an installation. Who knows? I have no idea why this isn't running. Maybe a reboot and then Qt creator works. Let's give it one more chance. One more chance. Let's go get it. So this is a virtual machine. We're going to close this and we're going to say, you know what? Bing and restart. Yes, I know it has ended. And we will just give it a second here. I'll actually pull up my own terminal and ping 127, I believe it is. Ping -T 192.168.1.127. Rock and roll. All right. It's probably just in the middle of rebooting right now. So as soon as we see that pop offline, we'll get logged back in. And then, of course, it'll come back online. I know it didn't reboot that fast. There's no stinking way that thing rebooted that fast. Come on. Oh, and you know what? I just thought of something. We might be able to... Oh, no, that's a text file. Man, this is a real conundrum here. Really crazy. All right. Let this do its thing. We could probably just jump over to where my box is. Did it already reboot? I guess so. Okay. Control C. I can't believe it rebooted that quickly. Connect. It sure did. Get logged in. Okay. That is there. Let's try that Qt creator. Qt creator. Maybe if I run that there, run as administrator. Why not? Yeah, heck yeah. Go. Admin says go. Fun. Fun. Fail time. Wah, 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 wah. Right? Okay, well, guess what? That happens sometimes. I just personally would not be using this on a Windows system, A, because I can't get it installed, at least not easily. Um, again, could retry installing with an older version of Qt Creator. Maybe that would be successful. Maybe on a different version of Windows, maybe that would be successful. But this does not really, it does not want to easily work. So for me, I'm very pragmatic, right? I say, hey, if you don't want to work with me, I don't want to work with you. Wow. And I slap it off the table and I go, oh, where's that Kali Linux? Look at that work. Oh, maybe Parrot would be a little bit nicer. It doesn't seem to like Windows. And even if it did, it's just the client, it's not the server. So you got to work in Linux anyway. So why not just do that? And then, fun fact, you could RDP into your Linux system and spin up your client and just do that. See, there's just better ways to do this. Obviously, this is not meant to be. That said, sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. But today, the bear, which is the Adaptix C2 clients on Windows, totally got me. If you know what to do, if you've installed this and you've got it to work in Windows, please reach out to me in Discord. I'll put my link to my Discord server down there. Throw a comment down in the bottom. Let me know, hey, yeah, it was a bit of, and I would love to know what you got to do to get that lovely little service up and running. So just out of pure curiosity. So I feel for you good folks out there that reached out to me and said, hey, I can't get this running on Windows. Yeah. That's how it doesn't work, I guess. Yeah. I think that's just put there to let you know you're not supposed to do it that way and teach you a lesson for trying to install hacky stuff on Windows. I kid you. Plenty of hackers I know use Windows all day, every day. I'm just a Linux guy. And today, it proved me right. All right, kids, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video in some way, shape, or form. If you did, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next episode that I drop, whenever that may be. Until next time, keep hacking.